Yeah, it might
So,
also heavily depend on the stage selection as well, because I find that like throwing out those hitboxes in that timing is really only going to be effective when Habaduba doesn't have the ability to do what he's currently trying to do now, which is just poking and then being able to just get out with a backdash in a way that Sophie finds unanswerable. So in that case, you'd be able to throw out hitboxes, but the more space he has to move around, the less that's going to work.
mm,
Pressure on the wall. Fantastic pressure on the wall.
oh, but he didn't manage to convert. Okay,
Where am I?
6B.
He intentionally dropped it so that Rosa would do a GI, therefore doing more guard damage.
Yeah, and Habbo would get some more meter from killing with more hits.
Yeah, there you go. Teeny tiny hits over and over again. I definitely think this is the way that this whole match is going to work out. Just tiny, tiny hits from both players over and over again.
Yeah, real battle of attrition.
It's that width, but isn't able to capitalize. There's that 6-6A again. 6-6A. I mean, yeah, Haohmaru does get a punish on it, but really, who cares?
Hmm.
Same with like all this -12 stuff.
You gonna guess right on the second
Right.
part? No, and
He does
it's gonna
not.
kill. Yeah, and again, Rosa just having such a good awareness of how much health the opponent has and what she can do to kill at that range. Like, she's been so good at closing rounds with exactly whatever she needs for that health range.
Habaduba being a teeny tiny more belligerent with the 6Bs. Uh, gets the parry there as well. But yeah, I agree that Rosa is still doing a really good job at continuing with this poke game. It's just that now Habaduba is standing at a slightly farther away range and going for stuff that's a little bit less committal, 3A, 6B, stuff like that. And so Rosa doesn't necessarily need to change the ideas, but I think needs to change the spacing at which she is contesting Haohmaru. I think that's the way to go about it.
Hmm.
All right, okay. Makes sense. He's in Soul Charge.
Yeah, Oni doesn't fall for bait that time. I like it.
Oh,
Oh,
doesn't get the punish. I don't know why that didn't work.
yeah,
Oh
that's
boy.
just
Parries galore right here.
plus frames. That's gonna be a
Nice.
stab.
Yeah, 2-2K is an underrated move from Haohmaru.
Yeah, plus frames into mix up. Okay, yeah,
Unfortunately,
she really
Rosa had to
needs.
spend both bars just to try and contest the second to last round.
Yeah. Oh, oh, but she doesn't go for the wall spot. No, she
Wow.
doesn't need it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it does so
So,
much
okay.
damage. It didn't even worry about the gut scaling. That's ridiculous. Oh,
Doesn't get
very
the
unfortunate there.
Yeah, it doesn't get the lethal hit on that 4A plus B, but we've got 2 bars to none, which is a pretty tough situation, but also Rosa does have that potential guard break, catching with a lot of these mids. Yeah,
We're trying to
Habaduba has
RI.
changed up his game plan a little bit too much. I think he's getting a little bit too, like, for the gusto of these heavy hits while he's in Soul Charge.
And
Wow.
Rosa just able to poke him out.
To be completely honest, I don't mean this in a disparaging way against Rosa. I don't feel like Rosa won that game. I feel like Habaduba, the second he activated his first Soul Charge, Habaduba lost that game. He deviated from the game plan that was working for him because he was in Soul Charge and he wanted to just end it with a big read and a big hit. So there were plenty of spots where Rosa effectively provided an opportunity for Habaduba to continue on with his poke game, and he decided against it. He decided to walk up and try to do a bigger read when I think that was being overly ambitious, and Rosa was able to continue on with the regular game plan, which was now more effective because Habaduba went to his original game plan from the first set. You know what I mean? Like he went to a slower, bigger read style when what was effective in the previous portions of that game was to just play the same kind of poking game that Rose is doing, but from farther away. I think if he kept with it, he would have been fine. Like I honestly feel like if both players didn't have any meter, Habaduba won that round. But because Habaduba felt like he needed to use that meter there, it just changed his whole mindset for the worse.
Yeah, it is very interesting that you can find yourself, even with these amazing, powerful tools like what you get in Soul Charge. It's so easy to throw the game because you're tunnel visioning like a certain thing that you
Yeah.
know has won previous games in the past. but on such a defensive, patient player like Rosa, like you said, it was just not the right strategy to employ.
Yeah, it's always a shame when somebody did realize what the correct strategy was, but then deviated from it because he had the threat of these other tools. When in reality, I think the threat of the Soul Charge moves in and of themselves was enough. Like, you didn't need to necessarily try to put them into practice.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw it a bit with Fountain as well. Like the
Sure,
threat
yeah.
of the CE was enough. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
need to throw it out twice.
Yeah. Yeah, see, look at this. Like, if he had just kept doing this at the last round where there was no meter involved, I have a tough time believing Rosa was going to make that comeback.
Yeah, it seems like Hab is a lot more comfortable with his timing right now, and Rose is kind of having to do the adaptation now.
Now, of course, that being said, we are on his counterpick stage. So, of course, he does feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that he has all the room in the world to walk around.
Yep, that will definitely help in this matchup.
6-6A, I do like how much Rosa is leaning on these -12 moves. Yeah, sorry, Sophie, your unblockable setup is nowhere near as good as Haohmaru's.
No. Yeah, Haohmaru's is like that unblockable, except the Quake Stun is also unblockable.
Was that stab a punish? On the 8A plus B? Or the 9A plus B from Haohmaru?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was safe.
-14. No one ever punished it. Yeah, it becomes a break attack in Soul Charge, so I guess people are just used to seeing it in Soul Charge and thinking, oh, I should probably keep looking here.
Yeah, I knew that the break attack in Soul Charge doesn't actually provide you, like, virtually any frame advantage, so I guess I should have just assumed because it doesn't provide you a lot of frame advantage, then that means that the regular version of it isn't safe, like, at all. Huh.
Yeah.
I hope I remember that, because something tells me that's going to be very important to me later in my future.
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying it before when I commentated the last final between them, that Rosa wasn't stabbing the 8A plus B.
Okay, yeah.
So clearly she has reviewed her matches, come back with a stronger game plan.
I also appreciate the fact that Rosa is now using GI to beat Warriors Focus mix-ups after 6B. We didn't really get to see that from many other people in the tournament. It's a shame Habaduba didn't get to use the rest of his soul attack because Sophie was in the air. So we didn't get to see like the whole string.
Yeah, I didn't get to see if Haba would do the JFs, because we've seen him do the full JF sequence.
The full thing in tournament?
Yeah, he's done it multiple times. It's really
fancy, schmancy. Yeah. Rosa got a little bit too ambitious. Totally forgot that Haohmaru is, by default, going to be backdashing. But does now have a meter lead. Now let's hope that Rosa doesn't change her game plan to the point where it makes her lose, like Habaduba did earlier. What? Just standing there? What happened? Wow. That almost looked like a controller desync or something.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh, back rolls to 6xb. Don't see that too often. Here's the Rage Explosion. One Issen will do this.
I don't think he's dead to the... I don't think Rosa's dead to the command grab yet. Okay,
that's it.
It's so tough, right? Because as much as we talk about Haohmaru's backstep being one of, if not the best in the game, his sidestep is not particularly great. He does kind of suffer like Astaroth does from the fact that he's very thick, he's very stocky. So you've got this stab that Sophie has that's going to destroy your backdash. But if you try to sidestep it, it's probably not going to work either. And Rosa is going to be perfectly comfortable using it a lot because it's Soul Charge, so she's safe, too. So it's like, you kind of have to weather the storm, but also he was in Rage Explosion, so he couldn't weather the storm, he had to do something. Tough situation all around.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Rosa's put herself just one game away from winning this.
Yeah, once again, winning on Habaduba's stage counterpick means that even if Habaduba wins this, all Rosa would have to do is just go back to the forest stage or something like that, where Habaduba has like nowhere to go, and just gonna have a huge advantage.
Yeah, things looking really rough for Habaduba now.
The difference in I-12 punish is also being heavily demonstrated here. Like, it's just 6-6A, it's just all -12 stuff from Sophie over and over again, and Habaduba's just sitting there like, well...
Yeah, and it's a shame because we saw him do the 6-6K punish from the start.
Like, sometimes I'm not even sure that's, like, optimal. You know what I mean? Like it's optimal in terms of damage, but maybe you just want to try and get away. I don't know. It's always tough to know whether you should try to punish, uh, or if you just try to do something else when you have a character that does not get a good punish.
Yeah, and if you consistently keep doing 6-6K and you're not getting it every time, like she only has to duck once and then do lethal hit, ASK,
Right.
and you're gonna have to punish with 6-6K like 10 times to get that damage back.
Yeah, not gonna happen. Haohmaru already in the red guard gauge as well, but if Haohmaru wins this round, then maybe the guard gauge isn't going to be that big of a deal, which is exactly why Rosa decides to go into Soul Charge, does get the RI this time, and does get the hit, so that's a pretty big boost to his ability to win this game. Obviously, he just got his second round, but also the guard break isn't as scary. He could potentially sack around to get the guard break away, and stole one of Rosa's bars.
Yeah, absolutely. Such an important round that he needed.
Still not ducking that. I guess the connection just isn't good enough in order to pull that off.
Yeah. Could also be the fact that no one plays Haohmaru, so who has practice stuffing
character
that?
knowledge and stuff. Ooh, finally gets the 4-4-A, but not as a counter hit.
A lot of chip damage. Oh, that's gonna kill.
Now that was not a punish, but again, the break attack version of the 9A plus B, as far as I know, does not really provide you with much frame advantage, but Haohmaru players are used to pretending like it's like plus 10 or something like that, and it isn't.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it's just neutral. I'm not even sure it provides you any frame advantage at all.
Yeah, I thought it was neutral, but I'm not sure either.
Ooh, nice backdash into 6B. That was pretty great. Okay,
Yeah.
so that round was a wash. But now Rosa gets to counterpick her own stage, and I think this is really where we're going to see the test of if Habaduba can potentially come back. He has to win on the counterpick stage twice, and his reward would be to start a whole new set. That's tough.
Yeah, and Rosa has so much room to work with. Like, even, yep, she's going with the forest this time.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But that said, even if the forest doesn't work out for her, she might change up her game plan and come up with a different stage that she wants to try, and Haba would have to win on there as well.
She will come up with a different stage, and it's just the stage at night.
Yeah, this is why
she
I
knows
hate
something about like the difference between like the shapes of the stage, and is like, nah, I want something with like a more circular shape.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pick player 3 colors so I blend into the background.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, but despite the smaller stage, Haba so far has been able to employ his usual game plan of just poke and space.
Yeah, it's
now
just
he's
gonna be a
backed up
matter
into the
of
corner.
trying to take less bets, but unfortunately, again, yeah, he's got nowhere to go. The second that you eliminate Haohmaru's backdash, I mean, I already don't consider him to be that powerful of a character, but you eliminate the backdash, and this guy blows. His options are so panicky and long-shotty that it's just tough to play like a straight-up game. I don't even think that Rosa's putting Habaduba up against the wall and then taking big bets for wall pressure or anything. Rosa's just going in there and then just being Sophie, you know what I mean? Just like having much better frames and just being like, Habaduba, you've got to take a bet in order to get out of here, and if you don't, I win. But frankly, if you do, I also win. Nice.
Ooh, is that going to be fast enough? Yes, it is.
Yeah, just enough, and just enough damage too.
Yeah, back turn bonus, so there was no way that wasn't going to kill.
Rosa, one round away, right? One round away from finishing out this set and getting the comeback that she's won on Habaduba. I would be willing to bet for the past 2 times you guys have done this.
Yeah, that's right. And it's looking really promising for her so far. Habaduba, you've got to win 3 rounds in a row.
On a stage like this, already forced to use meter, you know Habaduba's not a fan of that. You don't have to take bets. I think Rosa's getting a little bit antsy. Hopefully that doesn't impact her game plan too much. Wow, okay.
Oh, Brago stab.
1k charge into stab.
Oh,
wow!
there's the leaflet. This wall.
No,
oh, she drops it. That could have been a huge wall combo.
I think that was just Haohmaru being weird. I don't know why that whiffed.
It is a hard combo. You got to step forward before the 6
Oh, sure, okay.
I guess the pressure of it and online.
Jump A.
No,
No,
this is almost
it's not
gonna kill.
Okay. And
There's the
that's
grab.
it. No
That's
matter
it.
what, that is it. Congratulations to Rosa for being able to pull off a poking kind of game plan coupled with Haohmaru knowledge that nobody else was really able to put into practice to be able to slay her demon in this series. So congratulations very much.
Yeah, and with that, that means Rosa secures a place in the EOS finals, so she'll be up there with Habaduba.